Alright, we're live. Going just a bit early. I don't plan on being on here very long this evening. I've already drawn out my therapy for tonight. Hello to the creepers. Hello to the stalkers. Hello to the lurkers. Hello to the thumbs down crew, ever vigilant doing your thumbs down duty. Hello to all who stop by. And hello to anybody who watches the replay, should there be anybody. Let's get started. I gotta make sure I'm in live chat and not top chat. I may or may not have a guest coming by here. I think, so, if you hear anything going on, that's it, so. Hi, Paula. Hi, honey. Thank you for coming by. Paula, I will have a phone conversation with you here real soon. I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you. It's just been crazy, and I will get to you when it's a little more peaceable and quiet, and I'd like it to be a time, too, when maybe Diana is otherwise occupied with either her program that she's going to be doing, like a kindergarten prep thing, or some such when it's quiet and peaceful. That's kind of what I'm waiting for, and I'd really like to be over my throat thing too. So you're still in the queue, Paula. Don't worry about that. Hi, Jigsaw. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. We're doing a little mother marker study. I did my drawing and Sharpie marker. One of my favorite subjects, the Ohio Grassman, once again. He's not going through a portal this time. He's tromping through the woods. And where I'm at right now is very close to some very active places for such and other things. So it was just kind of on my heart to do that. He might be peeping in my window from afar, for all I know. So, but this time, instead of facing the viewer, he's walking away and walking through the woods. So I don't usually do Sasquatch rear view, but hey, I set paper to pencil tonight, or paper to pencil, pen to paper tonight, and this is what came out. So thank you to everyone who's coming by. Could just be us. That's okay. Is it flooring? You mean flooding, dear? I know the spell check thing is wonky. No, I know Ghost Mafia doesn't live too far from me, and I think he had a video about flooding today. Thank God so far, no. I'm not having those issues here, so, not to say that we might not later on, or whatnot, but, as of right here, right now, today, in Nurkahaya, no. No, we are not, so that's kind of cool. I don't really want to deal with flooding. And this place I'm at is like a basement type level anyway, so it'd be Diana's dad coming over tonight if he deigns to stop by, so. Yeah, I deal with autocorrect all the time, Paul, and it's one of my freaking pet peeves, and I've had so much of what I've tried to say get wonked up and goofed up, and so I kind of sprechen zilingity just a little bit, so we're just gonna throw a little color into what we've already started. Not gonna overdo it, we're just gonna throw splashes of color here and there. But yeah, Grassman is one of my favorite subjects. This is an active part of the world for such, and I enjoy going squatching and looking for structures and listening for them and all of that. So it's been a while since I've got to do that. Looking forward to getting out in the woods and doing that again at some point. And I can't do that with my daughter in tow, so. But thank you guys for coming. Like I said, it could just be a nice, quiet little stream tonight. I went a little early just in case my company comes by. And I already did most of the work anyway, so we're just throwing little bits of color here, a little more marker therapy, as I've been challenged by Mr. Mark Funnelcake Jones and this old stoner. So that's what we're doing. And we just throw splashes of color around. It's not like you're trying to do a coloring book and have to stay in the lines. You just need hints of color, suggestion of color. You know, with the woods that thick, you know, there's just greens of all kinds everywhere. Hiya Truth, you go ahead and do self-promotion all you want. If you want to post a link, post a link. If you want to talk about something up and coming you're doing, please go ahead. Donna, nice to see you. What a nice surprise. Thank you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate all of you who do come by and say hello and are positive and supportive. It means the world to me. And I like to keep this channel positive, and I like to keep the stream positive. You know, there are times when old Nez does the old bitch and rant and paint and draw and all of that, and there's times for that. I just, you know, today I'm kind of full up and just would like to relax and have a little bit of therapy, so. And I shan't be here long tonight. I've kind of gone on and on the last few nights. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. But hey, when you're in the mood and you're in the moment, it is what it is, you know. Sometimes it calls for a longer stream. Sometimes it doesn't. A little variety never hurt anybody. But yeah, we're just throwing a little color in here. And you don't want to do everything right away. I'm enjoying the back view. I don't usually do Sasquatch from behind. Sandy K, well, hello. Thank you for stopping on by. Doing one of my favorite repeating themes, Sasquatch, a.k.a. Ohio Grassman. And to reiterate, I do live in a rather active area for such. And I'm close to some hills and woods where he's at right now, so he was on my mind, so here we are tonight. Genuinely, as a rule, you don't really have anything to fear as long as you're not where they don't want you to be. If you heed their warnings while you're out in the woods and you hear things that tell you need to move on and get out, then by all means move on and get out. So, as to date, I've never had a bad experience with such yet, and let's hope that never happens. So, and they know what your intentions are when you go out, too. Oh, hey, Michelle, thank you for coming by my way. Yes, it's one of my favorite subjects, and as a child, I always loved reading about and studying and watching movies and shows and videos about. Oh, well, Jim, God bless you. Thank you for coming. Just doing another Ohio Grassman Sasquatch doodah with the markers, Jim. Thank you for inspiring me to not be afraid of those markers as much as I used to. I'm still afraid of markers, just not as much as I used to be, so. Jim, I appreciate you helping me get inspired and branching out more with my mediums and doing more marker. You know, there's no logical reason for me to be afraid or intimidated. It's just all in my mind. I know that. I think we just get used to, you know, I get used to certain things, and I don't want to change, and I hesitate to try new things, sometimes artistically. So, that's all that really is. Thank you, Michelle. Hi, Margie Jones. It's Cousin Margie. Everybody with the last name Jones, I'm just assuming they're all internet cousins, so. Cousin Margie. Thank you so much. I think my daughter's dad might be coming by tonight, so if you hear somebody, that should be who that is, so. But I wanted to get started early and and get going. And again, I'm sorry I don't have any music or anything. Well, it's nice to see you too, Mark. Thank you so much. So we're just kind of being mellow and throwing in suggestions of color to my marker sketch from earlier this evening. So I gotta say, Mr. Jim Brentar, these markers, I'm not getting the anxiety about them that I used to. It's it, when you speak a language, you still have your own voice and your own an accent to it, and I think I'm just finding my own way with the markers and speaking them with my own accent. So this takes getting used to. But yes, love the Sasquatch, love the Ohio Grassman, and I really don't mind living in an area where there's been sightings and activity. Like I said, I enjoy going out in the woods, and yes, I have seen structures. Yes, I have heard noises and knocks and grunts and calls and all those things that you hear about. Yes, certainly I have. It's something that unless you go out and experience for yourself, it's hard to believe. But yes, one's own way. Yep, that's right, Jim. I'm trying to just do the markers my own way, and it seems to be working out okay. I didn't have anything to worry about or be afraid of after all, so. I think I was just leery to try something new, Jim, is all. We get in our comfort zones, and, I do anyway, Jim, you look like you speak marker quite fluently, and you're real comfortable with it, and I just had to learn to get to... Have I recorded any noises? No, I don't have any fancy equipment or anything like that. Anything I've gotten has just been a cheap-ass camera or something on my phone, but, and that's all been done anyway, so I'm really not setting out to do that. Plus, these creatures, they have a way of interfering with electronics and sensing electronics, and so things kind of go wonky when you go out in the woods with electronics and you're near things like that, for reasons I can't entirely explain. So, I'm not into the big, lots of equipment evidence getting. I know they're real, I know they're there, so I don't need to convince myself, and I'm really not out to convince anyone else. But rather, I am here to encourage other people to do their own research and find things out for themselves. Because the journey of research is worth the effort. Absolutely. So, and you won't believe anybody else's testimony the way you'll believe your own. So, if you make it a personal experience, it's a whole different ballgame. So I encourage people to do their own research. Absolutely. Always a favorite subject of mine. Well, hello, Momo, you lurker, you. How you doing, BFF? I love you. I'm glad you came by. This time we don't have Ohio Grassman Sasquatch going through Stoner's portal. This time he's tromping through the woods right here close to where I'm at right now, because that's actually where I'm living. Right butt up close to their popular territory. So, it's just kind of on my mind tonight. I set the black Sharpie to paper, and out he came, so. And I have no doubt in my mind that they're out there right now, not that far away, among other things. According to the books, Forgotten Ohio and Lost Ohio, two different books. Oh, hi, Anna Banana, one of my favorite new mods. I love you, Anna. Thank you for coming. Yeah, Devil Dogs, talking about things like that, Sandy. I'm very much into researching things like that, the cryptozoological things, and paranormal, and strange, weird things, and ancient history, biblical studies, apocryphal studies books that didn't make it into the final canon of the Bible, all that stuff. And Gary Wayne, of course, is my favorite researcher for things like that. And his book is Genesis 6 Conspiracy, and his book talks about Sasquatch and what they are. And according to his research, they are a branch of Nephilim, which is an offspring of the fallen angels and humans. And there are many subcategories to that. And Sasquatch, according to him and his research, is a subcategory of Nephilim. And they belong in the category, I guess, with folk. Right up there with, in a group with gray aliens and fairies and shit like that. It's a fascinating book. He's done a lot of interesting studies. Gary Wayne has done his homework, so I encourage anybody to go. Yes, he's an interesting man. No nonsense. I talk to him on Twitter sometimes, so I'm sure he knows who I am by now. My favorite YouTuber of all time, Christian Truther, and he calls himself the asshole with the laptop. My dear friend, Richie from Boston. He's had Gary Wayne on his show, and he made me a mod when Gary Wayne was on his show, so that's a little extra special for me there. But yeah, I do encourage cryptids. Yes, love cryptids. They're interesting. I would rather know about them than to hide my head in the sand and pretend they don't exist, so. Well, hello, Swedes. How are you this evening? One of my favorite subjects again tonight. You'll have to beg pardon. I'm a lot closer in this shitty apartment where I'm at temporarily to where such activity goes on. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying. The books Forgotten Ohio and Lost Ohio, two different books. Both mention the county that I'm living in right now, Licking County. The city of Newark was built over a place called Old Dogtown. And Old Dogtown had upright people, walking people, humanid, upright walking, that would bark and talk. And those kind of creatures are reported all over the world, not just here. But yeah, the part of the city that I'm in now was built in Old Dogtown. And you can be hard-pressed to find any documentation to such. I've been looking all over to what was here before the city of Newark, and it's quite a challenge. They've covered up a lot. They've removed a lot of archaeological evidence and documentation. So a lot of cover-ups going on around here too, and that interests me to look at. I have written to the author of Forgotten Ohio, and I have not gotten a response back yet, so I'm interested in things like that, always have been. Like I said, people can scoff and laugh and say whatever they want, but, unless you do the research yourself and experience things for yourself, you're really not going to believe it the same way, other than just reading about it and hearing tell. You got to get your ass out there and look, you got to delve into the studies and for your own self. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm not out to prove anything. I'm not out to gather any kind of evidence. It's just a topic that interests me. Well, I'm sorry, what's going on? Anna, you need prayer? Oh. I'm sorry, Anna Banana. We're praying for you. We're praying for you. And certainly if you're a friend of mine or a fam, and especially one of my mods, of course I'm praying for you. Every single day, you bet. Well, thank you everybody for being here. Yep, good old Grassman's on my mind again. I can sense the presence. I know I'm closer to them than I was. I know, I'm physically, geographically closer to where they're at right here and now. So, that I know. I love hearing stories like that, too. If you want to email me or Twitter me, private message me and tell me your story. If you want your privacy, let me know. If you want me to share it, let me know. I enjoy hearing things like that. And because I'm a believer and I've seen and experienced what I have, I'm not going to be one sitting there going, oh yeah, right, whatever, I've seen what I've seen and heard what I've heard. So, old Nez is ready to listen. Oh, I love stuff like that. There's absolutely a lot more going on to our lives and our experiences here as human beings than what we see or think we see and sense with our senses. So, excuse me. Reminds me of a quote from Hamlet, where Hamlet's talking to Horatio, and he says, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your imagination. And that is absolutely 100% true. I got to say that line on stage, too. So never think what you see and hear and experience with your personal senses is all there is. There's just worlds and level to those worlds beyond our understanding. Ginger and pineapple. Well, no, ma'am, I am not. I do have a lemon in the refrigerator, though, and I'll have to gnaw on that before I go to bed. So, I'm doing the lemon thing. Yes, like I said, if you want to type it out in email, sometimes it's easier to just write it out and make sure you get all the details in, and I enjoy reading stuff like that and hearing those experiences and stories, absolutely. Old Nez is ready to believe ya. I've seen lots of crazy stuff myself. And I've got to say, this part of the world, I have never experienced the amount of paranormal, cryptozoological, weird, strange phenomena as I have right here in Newark, Ohio. That's right, Mr. Jones, Big the Foot. There he is again. But yeah, I saw my first and only so far full body apparition. It was like magically appearing, poof, and then poof, they were gone. He didn't even have time to be scared. It just all of a sudden, hey, there's somebody. Hey, they're gone. Yeah, so that was an interesting experience. And until you experience that one for yourself, that one's kind of hard to believe. But hey, I know what I saw, so. And no, I was not under any kind of hallucinogens or under any kind of influence of a substance that would influence me in such a fashion at the time. So reality is really quite scary and amazing and incredible. Fantasy and what people imagine is one thing, but I think it's far more interesting to learn about what's true and what really is. And that's even more scary because it's real and it's true. So, absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, I do enjoy doing said research like that. Oh, exactly, and that's part of the propaganda we've been spoon-fed. All of us. We were told a lot of things weren't real that are. Exactly. Got that right, Anna. Absolutely. They didn't want us knowing the truth, so they would just tell us that the truth things were fake. So we're all dreamt up in our mind. And then on the flip side of that, we were told things that were true were absolutely not, But that's a whole nother conversation for another time. So I'm also a tinfoil hat wearing Christian truther, and I love finding out about things that are going on in the world and how things are, and very anti-Illuminati, and very much aware of chemtrails and vaccines and what's really in them, and there's reasons I don't drink Pepsi and Coke and stuff like that anymore, because there's just very bad things in them. And a lot of these popular companies and brands are owned by very rich, wealthy, elitist people who do not have anybody's health or best interest in mind. Quite the opposite. It's a very dark, sinister world we live in, to be quite honest. and things are getting worse. Uh, I've witnessed a lot of men's hearts growing cold, and people just turning on each other a lot more lately, and I just have to chalk it up to as a sign of the times. Because I'm going to be 48, and noticeably things are a lot darker than they used to be, I think. The way people act and behave and treat each other, and I believe that, certainly. A lot of people say and do things now that I never even dreamed people would say and do to each other when I was younger, even a younger adult, so. But it is what it is. But yeah, here's our friend, Mr. Ohio Grassman, out there tromping around out in the woods, not far from me right now. And the Licking River's not too far, and they travel along the waterways too, so. I think the sketch turned out pretty good. I'm not used to drawing him from behind, but that's what came out tonight, so I can dig that. Please pardon me. It's just a tickle. I'm not hacking up anything like that. It's just an annoying little tickle that's refusing to totally go away yet. Yes, Moo Moo. Moo, if you got something to do, honey, you don't have to be up late with me tonight. You go ahead and I'll say goodnight to you. I don't want to keep you. I know you probably got work tomorrow and all of that. There's really not a whole lot left to be doing here tonight. Well, thank you, Paula. And I've really been enjoying your artwork, too. Yes, Jim, fart no evil. Hi, Eric MDK. Hello, thank you for coming by. Yeah, blah. I'm happy to go back to work tomorrow. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I missed Goodwill with all my heart. And Diana starts her Kinderness Ready little program tomorrow. So it's just a morning thing, and I only get to work in the morning, but it'll still be fun. Good therapy, and I'll find things I need for a new household and moving. Hold on, just a minute. Someone's at the door. Come on. Jesus. Well, he was at the door. I'm just going to cut it short. That's pretty much it for tonight. God bless you guys. Remember to tell someone you love them. And we'll see you guys real soon. Thank you all for coming.